Hi there, it's me again, Sir Ed. So we are now on the last part of our lesson, solving quadratic equations. This time, we will use the quadratic formula. By the way, we use quadratic formula if we want to get the roots of the quadratic equation, but the quadratic equation is not factorable. So before we proceed or before we move to our lesson proper, let's have the objectives first. Okay, so at the end of the lesson, you are expected to solve quadratic equations by quadratic formula or using quadratic formula. Okay, so in solving quadratic equation by quadratic formula, for any given quadratic equation in one variable in the standard form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, all you need to do is substitute the corresponding values of the numerical coefficients a, b, and c from the standard form of the quadratic equation in the formula. So by the way, class, this is what we call the quadratic formula. This formula was derived from the general or from the standard form of quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, was derived from there using completing the square. So malalaman nyo na ang mga topic na tinuro ko ay magkakakonekta. So quadratic formula is connected to completing the square, extracting the square root, and factoring. And by the way, ito yung pinaka-universal, no, in solving quadratic equation. Kahit anong quadratic equation, kaya natin i-solve. But only in one variable, okay? Lalo na kung hindi factorable yung quadratic equation. If the quadratic equation is not factorable, then pwede tayong gumamit na to. Pwede rin to sa x squared equals c. But, mas madaling gamitin yung extracting the square root for that form, no? Okay, now without further ado, let's have the first example. So x squared minus 8x equals 9. So what we're going to do is first write the given in standard form. So we're going to transfer 9 to the other side, and that will be negative 9. So the resulting equation now will be x squared minus 8x minus 9 equals 0. Then identify the values of a, b, and c. The value of a here is 1. The value of b is negative 8, while the value of c is negative 9. Then ang gagawin natin is gagamitin ang quadratic formula to get the roots. So again, we have the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then anong gagawin natin dyan? Isa-substitute natin ang values of a. So the value of a is 1. We're going to substitute it on the formula. Okay? Then the value of b naman. The value of b is negative 8. As you can see. And the value of c, which is negative 9. Then, on the numerator, we have to multiply negative and negative 8. Negative 1 and negative 8. And that will be equal to positive 8. So, ang nangyari, dinistribute natin si negative 1 kay negative 8, kaya naging positive 8. Next, on the denominator, we have to multiply 2 and 1. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Next, get the square of negative 8. So, kukunin natin ang square ni negative 8. The square of negative 8 is equal to negative 8 times negative 8, which is equal to, okay, very good, 64. So, now we have here 64. Next, perform the operations inside the radical symbol by following the order of operations. So it is important to follow the order of operations. Okay. So now we have 64 minus 4 times 1 times negative 9. So all of these are just multiplication. We're going to multiply. Okay. Sige, we're going to multiply 1 and negative 9. That will give us negative 9. Then multiply negative 9 and negative 4. That will give us positive 36. Okay? Then ang gagawin naman sa susunod ay add 64 and 36. 64 plus 36 is equal to 100. So now we have the square root of 100. Then after that, we're going to extract the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is equal to 10. Okay, class, sorry, hindi ko to napansin. This should be 8. Okay, hindi yung 3. This should be 8. So now we have x equals 8 plus or minus 10 all over 2. Then after that, we're going to split the positive and negative roots of 10. Okay, so we have 8, or so we have x equals 8 plus 10 over 2, and x equals 8 minus 10 over 2. So again ha, in-split natin yung positive and negative 10. Okay, so magiging 8 plus 10 over 2 and 8 minus 10 over 2. 8 plus 10 is equal to 8 plus 10 is equal to 18. Then 8 minus 10 is equal to negative 2. Then isi-simplify natin ito. 18 divided by 2 is equal to 9, and negative 2 divided by 2 is equal to negative 1. So therefore, the roots of the quadratic equation, or the roots of the given quadratic equation, are 9 and negative 1. Okay, so I hope that you follow the procedure. Now let's go to the second example. Second example is 2x squared minus 3 equals 27. So again, we have to write the given in standard form. So we have to transfer 27 to the other side. That's why it will become minus 27. Then identify the values of a, b, and c. A is equal to 2, while b is equal to negative 3, and c is equal to negative 27. Then use the quadratic formula to get the roots. So the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. Then after that, substitute the values of a. So the values of a is 2, or the value of a rather, the value of a is 2. So yung a dito, papalitan natin ng 2. Okay, so nakikita niyo yan. Then, substitute the value of b. So we have negative 3, and we also have negative 3 here. Then substitute the value of c. So we have negative 27. Then after that, same procedure from the first example. We're going to distribute, or we're going to multiply negative 1 and negative 3. So that will be equal to positive 3. And on the denominator, we will multiply 2 and positive 2. That will give us 4. Okay, so the denominator of the whole expression is 4. Next, we're going to take the square of negative 3. The square of negative 3 is equal to positive 9, because negative 3 times negative 3 is equal to 9. Okay, next. Next one is we're going to perform the operations inside the radical symbol by following the order of operations. Okay, so we're going to multiply first negative 27 and 2, then multiply it by negative 4, then perform the operation with 9. Okay, so 2 times negative 27 is equal to negative 54. Next, multiply negative 4 and negative 54. Negative 4 times negative 54 is equal to positive 216. Okay? Remember that when you are multiplying integers with same sign, it will always be equal to positive. So that will be plus 216. And we should add 9 and 216. So that will be equal to 225. Don't forget the radical symbol. So now we have now we have again, x equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 225 all over 4. Then after this, we're going to extract the square root of 225. Okay? Square root of 225 is equal to positive or negative 15. Then again, split, split the positive and negative roots. So we have x equals 3 plus 15 all over 4. And x equals 3 minus 15 all over 4. Perform the operations on the numerator. So 3 plus 15 is equal to 18. Then copy the denominator, which is 4. So x is equal to 18 over 4. While this one, 3 minus 15, that will be equal to negative 12. Since 3 is positive and 15 is negative, 3 minus 15 will be equal to negative 12. Then simplify the resulting roots. Okay, so if we simplify 18 over 4, it will give us 9 over 2. And if we simplify negative 12 over 4, that will give us negative 3 over 1, or just negative 3. Now, negative 12 divided by 4 is equal to negative 3. Now, for the final answer, therefore, the roots of the quadratic equation are 18 over 4, or 9 over 2, and negative 3. Okay, either way from 18 over 4 o kaya naman kay 9 over 2, kahit alin dyan ay i-consider ko na. Okay? So I hope you learn solving. So I hope you learn from this topic, solving quadratic equations using quadratic formula. And thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Okay, see you on the next lesson.